This protein bar has made Whole Truth a 600 crore D2C giant. With 36 crores in annual revenue, they are disrupting India's 83,000 crore healthy food market. But what's interesting is that they have done all of this in just 5 years by bringing a unique transparency and by not only mentioning all of their ingredients at the back of the pack, but also at the front. Now, before we dig into the 3 core insights of how the Whole Truth got here, it's super important for you to understand the landscape of this 83,000 crore healthy food market. See, India's consumption pattern has seen a drastic change in the last few years. This change has made India's healthy food market grow at the world's fastest rate of 20%, and in fact, this market is expected to reach a $30 billion mark by 2026. And to put some context into this number, 30 billion is basically the size of India's entire shoe market. That's big, considering footwear is worn by almost everybody. The healthy food market matching the footwear market, that's crazy. In fact, India's average per capita spending on healthy foods is expected to become 2 times by 2026. And this expectation does not look incorrect because this healthy trend is pretty much visible all around us. More people are going to gyms, more people are counting calories, and most importantly, people have started reading food labels. Despite this, when it comes to the packaged products category, India still has a long way to go. Because while the penetration of healthy foods in the packaged food category is 11% in our country, in a developed country like US, it's almost 3 times at 31%. And I know that US is way ahead as a country when it comes to consumption patterns, awareness, and per capita spends, but this stat still gives us a good idea why the ecosystem is extremely bullish on this category. In fact, this is the reason why multiple startups have come into the picture, and so many are getting acquired left, right, and center by big food giants. Like Yoga Bar got acquired by ITC, True Elements got acquired by Marico, and just look at this revenue chart. All of the big ones are clocking more than 30 crores of revenue. That's insane. Now, how the Whole Truth story started is deeply rooted in the pain point of its founder, Shashank Mehta. See, Shashank had suffered through obesity almost throughout his life. But still, food was at the core of everything he did. He worked at Unilever, then at Rebel Foods, and then eventually went back to Unilever. And throughout all this, he was spending all of his weekends researching on how to crack the ultimate funda of nutrition so that he doesn't gain weight. By the way, he was so passionate about fitness that he started writing an entire blog called FitShit, which eventually became the legal company name behind the Whole Truth. So his reason to start the brand was simple. He was pissed by the fact that food brands gave only half the truth about their products. And if you look at it, it happens a lot around us. For example, companies sell juice by calling them healthy, but these juices have as much or more sugar than a regular cola. In fact, many chemicals like these are used as sugar substitutes by brands, but they are horrible for your blood sugar levels. And this is exactly what Shashank wanted to change. He wanted to build a brand that said the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Now let's get into the first insight behind their success, which is cracking trust. Making anything in the packaged food category is very difficult, especially if you're entering a clean label space because your sole USP is telling people that you are a healthier alternative. And Whole Truth as a company has doubled down on their R&D to ensure this in each of their products. Even if you look at the numbers, they have an insane repeat rate of 56%. While an above average brand has a repeat rate of 35%. It's because they have just spent a way more time on researching on their products, this being the sole reason why they have taken their manufacturing in-house instead of relying on a third-party manufacturer. By the way, this concept of third-party manufacturing is very common. Even one of the biggest D2C brands in country like Mamaearth outsources their manufacturing. And the logic is simple. Hire someone who has the equipment and the skill and save your freaking costs. But the Whole Truth went the opposite route. In fact, in the initial days, third-party manufacturers even rejected them, as their bar recipe literally had no binder or sugar liquids, so these manufacturers wanted them to change their recipes to fit their machines. But Whole Truth just wanted to do everything in their own terms. They wanted to have only 6 ingredients in their protein bar and took the hard capex call of making the bar on their own. And in case if you ever consumed by who is actually manufacturing your brand's products, just read the manufactured by part of your label. They wanted to be a 100% transparent brand that has zero artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and sugars. So instead of going the artificial sugar way, they went for substitutes like dates. Also, this doesn't mean that you just watch this video and start munching multiple bars at once, because despite whatever type of sugar you consume, WHO still recommends not having more than 50 grams a day. Now, the decision to use pure ingredients is a tough one because it takes a toll on two big things that affect sales. One is shelf life and the other is taste. Let's discuss both. On the shelf life side, this category is extremely difficult as the product life cycle on the shelf takes a big toll. This means that while other brands that add preservatives have a shelf life of 12 months, Whole Truth has a shelf life of only 6 months. This is a big problem because it leads to a return from trade of freaking 15%, while other brands that add preservatives have a return from trade of just 2%. By the way, return from trade is the mal that does not get sold by retailers or supermarkets and is eventually sent back to manufacturer or either destroyed. This return from trade is a big cost that they take every time to maintain their brand. The second hit is the taste. See, our palates have been accustomed to stuff which is tasty in our definition, stuff that has a lot of sugar, sweeteners or taste enhancers. But Whole Truth made a deliberate compromise here. In fact, if you see their protein bars, they are definitely not the most delicious bars on planet. These bars easily break down, they are not super intact and their taste takes time to get accustomed to. But this still worked out for them. Why? Well, because their target customers buy their bars not because they are tasty, but because they're healthy and transparent. Talking about the customer insight, we have the perfect thing in store for you. We are hosting the 19th edition of GrowthX Demo Day. The mecca of growth is back. Top founders and leaders from the startup ecosystem and leading companies like Crore, Razorpay, Google, Stripe, Zomato and more will be joining this demo day. And yes, you can be a part of this too. It's on 19th May and you can join the event for free. But yeah, we have limited invites and it's first come first serve. So grab your passes quick. The link to grab the pass is in the description. Getting back to the second insight that Whole Truth cracked, which is their unique content distribution game. See, content is part of every brand strategy these days, but the way Whole Truth has executed it is pretty mind-blowing, and I'll break it down how they have done it. Their entire content strategy is based on 3 pillars. One is storytelling, second is education, and third is entertainment. Let's get into them one by one. Now, when it comes to storytelling, it starts from their brand name itself. The name Whole Truth is in itself a bold claim saying that, hey, we are not like the rest and we want to tell 100% truth. That's why they don't call themselves a food brand, but a truth brand. And to hit the nail on the head, they optimize their packaging, their socials, and even their website to communicate these values. By the way, one thing that is really interesting here is that Shashank himself is featured in most of the ads, making the brand relatable instead of hiring a famous celebrity who would not have the brand association that he has. Even their ads like this one, where they bust myths around so-called misleading claims in the food industry, are done by Shashank himself, and they still have not hired an agency to do the content for them. They do it all in-house. While this cracks storytelling for them, on the education front, they started with newsletters and the Instagram channel where they covered a lot of interesting topics like comparison of healthy drinks versus sports drinks, or even topics like, are modern day breads even healthy? Obviously, Shashank's experience of writing well-researched blogs helped the brand here as well. But the most interesting thing they did while educating was that they never promoted their products after educating. Because the loop is simple. Educate customers, gain trust, make them aware about why your brand is better through all the channels, and get conversions. A masterstroke. By the way, be it storytelling or education, the third glue that has remained constant for them since the very day one is their witty brand voice. And this becomes very important because they're literally talking like their core ICPs, be it their packages or their ads. The ICPs, who are the young folks of top tier 1 cities who want a brand to talk to them like Whole Truths is talking to these guys. By the way, the agency that does their amazing packaging is known as Thought Over Design, in case you want to look them up. Great. Coming back to the point of brand tonality. So be it their ad series that they did with Rohan Joshi, or be it the one where they're trolling influencers literally, all of them just made them stand out by not being just another boring health brand. Coming down to the third insight that Whole Truth has cracked beautifully, which is their amazing distribution model. Well, you must be thinking how they have cracked 900% growth in the last 3 years. See, if you're a D2C brand today, you can only expand using a couple of ways. One, you enter more markets. Second, you launch more SKUs. Third is you use more channels. So while the market was focused on tier 1 cities, the interesting thing is how they have thought about their SKUs and channel strategy. On the SKU front, they have used a narrow to wide SKU strategy. What that means is that they first enter a niche category that is rather small and where there's a higher chance to differentiate themselves as a brand, categories like protein bars, peanut butter, and muesli. crushed those categories beautifully using the 6P marketing framework that Shashank learned in Unilever, which includes 6 elements: positioning, product, pack, price, place, and promotion. Score 100 out of 100 in all of these 6 elements, generate massive brand awareness and brand loyalty, and only then go for the categories that are already developed, like whey protein and milk chocolates. They're not thinking of themselves as a healthy company, but a truth company. That's why they've even started entering categories like chocolates. And while it might feel counterintuitive to buy chocolate from a brand from which you're actually buying whey protein or protein bars, this strategy has worked out really well for them. In fact, chocolates are their highest selling SKUs, on par with the protein bars. Now, if we talk about the channel expansion, their initial years were solely online, but they have now turned into an omni-channel brand that is literally present everywhere. So be it your supermarkets, the store at the airport, your quick commerce apps like Zepto, Blinkit, or even Amazon, or even platforms like HealthCart for that matter, they have made sure that they don't miss out on any point they get to get in touch with their target customers. The logic is simple. Don't judge customers where they're buying from and just deliver. By the way, offline is still a very small channel for them because they have 80% of the major sales coming from online and e-commerce. And this makes sense, right? Because their target audience, which is the Gen Z and millennials of tier 1 cities, are using e-commerce a lot over traditional supermarkets. So these were the 3 major insights that made Whole Truth a 600 crore company that they are today. By the way, don't forget to sign up for Demo Day to witness the art and science of revenue-led growth. Use the link in the description. I'll see you at the Demo Day. Ciao.